So I'm Rebecca Quigley. I'm a maths teacher in North Lanarkshire Council and the president of the EIS North Lanarkshire Local Association. So here today just to talk about the ballot, why it's important that we vote and why it's important to reduce teacher workload. I love my job, right? There's not anything else that I want to be doing. Every day is different. I like interacting with the kids. I really enjoy making an impact in a way that's not just like financial. You know, you're making an impact that's on people's lives longer term. And I had loads of teachers at school that really inspired me, and you could tell that they were in teaching for the right reasons. You know, they were wanting to do the same thing, and that's what really encouraged me to want to be a teacher. The demands on teachers, I think that there's maybe an expectation now that schools become a catch-all for other public services that are really, really stretched. There's an increase in the number of kids with complex needs, with additional support needs. I think the most recent figures are about 40%, so about 40% of our young people have got a recognised additional support need, which if you have a class of 30, you know, trying to do the maths in my head, that, you know, that's almost half your class. You know, you could have 12 kids in every class that have an additional support need, and those needs can be quite complex, they can be quite challenging, and there's just not really enough time to even research how to support them. Do you know, there's so many demands on your time, and you're being asked to do more and more things with increasingly less time, and I think that's the challenge. All of us do our job well, but that's not the same as doing it as well as we would like to. So in our school, we're all skilled practitioners, we're all great teachers, we do a great job, but if you were to ask me, would I want to be able to do better, the answer would obviously be yes. And it's sometimes really frustrating, and you feel a bit of guilt because you might see things online, you know, new techniques, new studies, and you want to research them so that you can implement them in your classroom, but you just don't have time. You know, these things take time to research, you need time to go on courses, or you need time to get the resources and properly plan it and implement it into your lessons, and you just don't have that time. We were promised this. You know, it's not just something that we've plucked out of thin air. The government said to us, if you elect us, we will give you 90 minutes less class contact time specifically for, you know, assessment, preparation, etc., to help reduce workload. You know, you're too busy actually teaching, and you're constantly on the go during the school day, that any kind of decent admin tasks you probably have to do either before the school day starts or at home, because you just don't really get that uninterrupted time in a school to sit down and do the work that needs done. Recent EIS research shows that on average in Scotland, teachers are working about 11 hours extra a week as unpaid overtime. So if you think about that, as for every 3 teachers, they're collectively doing the work to justify a fourth and not getting paid for it. So as much as we talk about the fact that there's no money, the system as it is right now has been propped up off the back of unpaid labour for teachers already. Teaching is such an emotionally draining job, and you know, I love it, and all my colleagues love what they do, but it is emotionally demanding, and sometimes you get home and you either sit in the drive for 20 minutes and you stare out the window until you get ready to go into the house, or you go home and you just sit and stare into space, because it's like you don't really get any off time because you're responsible for, you know, up to 33 young people and their learning and their emotional needs and everything else, and you get home and you just crash. And sometimes that can mean that at the weekend or at night during the week, things that you would maybe want to do with your friends, with your family, for teachers that have their own children, you're actually not able to do them because you've given so much during the day that you've not really got anything left, you know, in the tank. And we talk a lot about, you know, you can't pour from an empty cup, as if the only reason that your well-being should be, you know, considered, and the only reason that it's important to have good well-being as a teacher is so that you can give to others. But actually it's important to have a full cup so that you can still live your own life, you know, that you can still engage with your own home life and your own family and your own friends, rather than just giving it all in the workplace. The ballot closes on the 4th of March, but to get them down and counted in time, they're going to have to be posted by the 27th of February. If you haven't posted your ballot, please do so as quickly as you can. And if you haven't received your ballot yet, can you contact ballot@eis.org.uk to make sure that you can get a replacement sent in plenty of time.